Like all things with this motorcycle, there's just really nothing that doesn't require work. A bit frustrating now because I want to try and get this job done. Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at a step-by-step process on how we paint a motorcycle. Let's dive straight in. These edges have to be really quite smooth, so when you're applying the wet paste onto the surface, you've got a nice applicator. Just get a piece of cardboard like that, stick it in, the front guard is ready for primer. The tank, unfortunately, I found more dents. Now, one of the things that you do with a primer is that because you've got so many little marks and things, you can't really tell how good the prep work has been. So one way to do it is to put a primer on. In this case, I'm going to put a fairly thick primer on, and that's going to be a grey primer because I'm going to be spraying red onto this, which means that you'll get more illumination from the base primer as opposed to using black primer. A nice light primer, as you can actually see what you're doing. There's a lot of holes that need to be filled. You can see them here. Painting the bike and the frame. So we're going to put a primer on it now. As long as we get lots of good coverage, we'll key and tidy up later for the base coat color black. Right, let's go over what we found after we put the first primer on. As you can see, there are, although this one is not too bad, there are some little flaws in the surface. So in this case, I'm going to wet sand this back and try and see if I can buff out these little things. And if not, then we'll apply more of this dolphin glaze on those areas, and then that should be enough for the next primer layer. There's some more areas here which obviously dolphin glaze will work on these particular spots here. This is typical of fiberglass. These are air bubbles that come out when you break through the gel coat when you are stripping paint. So it's actually a bit more, although a stronger component, a bit harder than plastic, because plastic doesn't have a gel coat. So these are the air pockets that you deal with fiberglass. These ones came out okay. This was the worst of the two, which were fractured all along the base. There's a few little air pockets on that, but they will buff out, and then a little bit of dolphin glaze on, and then we'll get that surface smooth, and then we'll put another primer layer on that. The tank is a little bit disappointing actually, because this has been smacked over so many places on this left side. I've repaired this, I've repaired this, I've repaired that, I've repaired this, I've repaired this, and underneath here and along this side here. You can see there's so much shape area that I've had to fix. I've obviously been left with a few raised spots like there and here, and I didn't spot that one before, but this is one of the benefits of doing a monotonal color on a shape is that you can see with the shadows much easier where you're still lacking. But it won't take that much more to get that sorted. This, I must say, came out fairly well. This will just be knocked back a little. But generally speaking, it's only just this area here and these edges that need to be fixed, and then this side should look like the other side, which is perfect. Done a lot of reading, and there's a lot of opinion about what you should put onto these exhausts and what you shouldn't. Now, they're exhausts and they're exhausts. Some get hotter than others because of the design. In this particular case, what makes the Guzzi interesting is that the pipes leading up into the block are black. Here's the main pipe that's coming out of the engine, which are supposed to be black. Now, a 2-pack black paint would hold its color without peeling up to about 650 degrees Celsius. For me, around this area here, that's pushing the margins too much. There's a great chance that will peel off, like you can see has happened here in the past from the original one. So I bought some stove paint, which is high heat, high temperature stove paint, which says it goes up to 600 degrees. Now, I have used this on exhaust pipes before, and it stays black. Although it doesn't come out gloss, but then we wouldn't expect this exhaust pipe to be gloss anyway. It'll be matte to there, and then probably a satin to a gloss rear. I was just getting ready to spray this exhaust when I spotted. So I'm going to have to do a bit of remedial work and do a little bit more digging around to see what areas need filling. So you can see there's a lot of repair work done all over here and on these sides. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use this buffer end to blend the weld into the finish, and then I want to attack this rough area because it's not going to look nice when it's painted. Okay, let's get spraying. Don't need a primer for this. You just get it straight on. Have a look. This has now got to its matte finish. I don't know if you can see, but it's not black, it's kind of dark grey. I am keying this primer coat on these parts because the next layer of primer, this is a filler primer. I put a thicker primer on, you can see it's kind of got a wrinkle finish to it. So 400 grit should be fine. Quite often folks don't film this part. This part is quite important. This is the first layer of primer on the tank. And like I showed you before, there were some high spots which needed to be removed. And you can see largely they've been taken off by the primer, but some other fine areas of raised areas have just cropped up. And the reason that comes up like that is because you use a rubber block, fairly stiff, but flexible enough to take contour shapes, and you run between 400 to 600 depending on how thick your primer is to get the ripple effect off. But if you're doing a finish of primer, so you want to put a nice finish sheen on as a primer to get ready to spray a base coat color, base coat being the color of like the red in this case, then you need to be a little bit more careful on how you spray a very thin viscous layer of primer so that you get a nice sheen finish on it. Then all you do is just key it slightly, and then you can put your color down. At this stage, this ugly duckling is still got a fair way to go. Once I've squared this off with a block, and this is what's so important, is this block will show up tiny little highlights around these areas. It start to really sheen off this surface. It's very, very important. Less work to do. There we go. That's better. Guzzi's taking shape. As you can see, it's just a mind-numbing sanding experience. But yeah, we're getting there. There's a little bit more work to do on this one. I always knew this one was going to be a nightmare. I was almost ready for its final primer. Just a few little touch-ups there. This one, tiny little air bubbles on this major repair one. This was, if you remember, this one was really very badly broken just about everywhere. So this was really pieced together out of bits I found on the motorcycle. If you haven't seen that video, do go and watch it. This one's come out really well. It's attended virtually nothing to this one, so this one will go straight into primer. You can see that nice finish has gone again, because we're now back down to a flattened surface. It's not completely flat, but it's definitely adequate for another layer of paint, that being the base coat black. So nothing gets past the sandpaper today, not even this. My concern when I'm putting primer on here is that I'm going to lose these register points. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Now just do not rush into the next part of this. What you want to do is go over each component again and check, and you'll be surprised. You will find flaws. You will find little things, little edges. I can just feel this now on my finger. And one of the reasons for that is that you're putting on a primer that is going to be a different type of primer. It is a smoother primer, and you put it on a lot thinner, so that when you put your base coat and your lacquer layer over it, you're not dealing with all sorts of lumps and bumps, so that the end result looks amazing. Get it on wet, but you don't want it to run. So that's it for the primer. Self-leveling primer is curing. I'm really happy with that. Going home last night, this is really plaguing me. We've got so far with this tank, and it's been quite a challenge to get this absolutely right. It's been damaged in many different places, and I've done my level best to get this right, but I really want to try a little bit more. So today, I'm afraid I'm going back to fillering, particularly this area, which I can see, and I can see a little build-up over here. So I'm going to get that done. I'm going to primer this again, level it, and hopefully by the end of the day, I'll still be able to get red on the bike, which is my aim, is to get the red base coat onto the bike. So without further ado, let's get this going.
So we are putting a sanding coat with paint. So then now when we start into kit, we can see what points are deeper or higher than the others.
It's a little bit like using on metal, when you do metal work, you put that purple,
exactly,
and then you file it
thing.
until it comes off.
Same thing.
So we're just putting that on. Then I'm just going to sand it with that 3M fine until it's off.
You can also use charcoal. You know that the charcoal that you put in fire. If you just smash it and then you take it with a sponge, it will get black, and then it's easy to remove it.
What are we using?
320 in this case, because I don't want to go in through. So this is a flat rubber, and then if you keep sanding, check, can you see that area there? Without pressing, can you see that area there? That it was a bit deep as well. And as I'm saying, without pressing, because if you press,
you're going to break through the primer.
It's not just that; it's also that you are not applying the same power into each side, so then it might be a bit,
Yes, empty.
Exactly. If you keep doing this, what you're gonna create is a valley again.
Yeah, you got to keep moving.
Exactly. And in a different direction, so then I think that we're gonna go in through there, you see?
Yeah. So here what we're gonna do here.
We're gonna just keep sanding a little bit, and maybe, because you have to put a little bit of primer because it's there, we can just mix a little bit and spray a little bit there. That's it, should be fine. This is one of the most important things on a bike, right?
Yeah, it is. The tank is.
Is he just removing the primer?
Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah, all my hard work.
Why is he doing that?
Because he's a legend now on the channel.
Oh, he is, I see.
Since he did the Royal Enfield, everyone's asking, where's
I can't question what he's doing at the moment, but I'm not going to.
No. Because he pretends that he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I know.
That's what happens when you come from the
No,
Canaries.
he's just making a shriek line, like a flat lines.
I know.
The way he's sounding it.
You see, and he's criticising all my work.
I know he is.
I'm just teaching.
See if this cleans off.